We welcome in the one, the only, Jarom Jordan on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Jarom, you walk into Gerson Pavilion, and there's a sign that says, R.I.P. Jarom's mustache. What was that all about?
So that was the Erickson. First off, that was the Ericksons from Bakersfield. That family of 5 or 6 kids and parents drove like an hour and a half to go to that game. So that was cool. And then someone had texted me that sign was in there, and I was like, what? Who are these people? So I went over, we took a selfie, I tweeted it out, and that was super cool. That they acknowledged the mustache. It's funny how many people are like, hey, you look way better with it. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So I appreciate everyone's mustache thoughts.
I was telling Spencer yesterday, I think you should groom it a little bit, trim it up some. And I have a good barber. Kyle Collinsworth has a good barber. It's the same barber, ironically. And maybe you can go to him and he can just touch it up a little bit for you. I'll pay for it, too.
If I was, really a man and could grow a mustache, see the movie Hot Rod with Andy Samberg, then I probably would have. I have the same barber as Ben Patch, so you can have Kyle Collinsworth. I'll have Ben Patch.
Listen, Jarom, a lot of people after last night's win, because you were there, the chant started again. Jarom needs to start another winning streak mustache. Is this a once-a-year thing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
Still had a 15-point deficit on the road. Like that didn't change, right? I think in 6 of the 8 road games, BYU has been down at least 12 in the game, and they've come out with 3 of those wins, half. So it's tough when BYU digs themselves holes and gets them out. That's my concern. And I heard what you guys were saying in the first segment there, and Brian's right. Let's see if BYU can use this and avoid getting down to that point to where it's not a 2-point game with 4 minutes left or whatever it was.
The thing is, BYU, let's face it, they play with urgency, and it seems like they play better when they are trailing. So the question is, how does a team like that gain urgency early in the game? Did you hear anything about that last night during your post-game conversations?
Yeah, talking to Dave Rose, he said the thing I learned the most last night was BYU was relentless. That's the word he used, relentless in the second half. You can control to a degree, contested shots, second chance points, that kind of thing. But if a team's going to shoot 68% from the field and 69 from 3, and at one point it was 81%.
Which is just stupid.
That is stupid. Nick Emery said he's never seen an opposing team. He's never played in a game like that where a team shot like that. Everything was going in. It was crazy. And BYU they were allowing layups, which is on BYU. But some of those open looks, you can contest those better. But if a team's going to make shots, it's tough. And you knew that LMU was going to cool down. BYU felt, Kyle Collinsworth said, we stayed positive. We stuck with it. We knew that they weren't going to shoot that well the whole game. So what does BYU do? They rebound better. They turn up the tempo. They start making shots. In the first 3:49 in the second half, 17 points. Now, I like that package of threes you guys showed in the first segment. 17 points. Celius, Emery, boom. All of a sudden, BYU's playing better defense, hitting shots, and it was the game right away. Tons of energy out of the gate.
Jarom, when did you start to notice just the tide change and the atmosphere and just the electricity of the crowd really start to turn in BYU's favor?
It helps when you don't allow a 20-0 run. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Because the crowd was totally taken out of it. And it was probably 50-50 BYU. And by the way, my high school, every single game had more students than LMU had in that game. I just want to bring that up.
That's embarrassing. Come on.
Yeah, it was. But LMU's campus, by the way, just side note, beautiful. It's so pretty. So pretty. I'm super jealous. It's up on a bluff that overlooks L.A. and the ocean.
Nice.
This place is legit. The student section, not so much. But to answer Brian's question, as soon as BYU made a couple shots and got a couple stops, you knew it was different. You could feel the energy, and then the crowd was in it. And the BYU bench, the BYU crowd was right behind the bench, so they would come over during timeouts. They would get a lift from that team, and then it ultimately, I think, helped and aided them in coming back down 15 in that game.
Jarom, a yes/no question for you now, and you can elaborate if you so choose. Is Kyle Collinsworth underappreciated at BYU because his triple-double thing is becoming kind of a normal situation?
I feel you on the yes angle, but I'll go no. I think that BYU fans know exactly what he is, which is the most versatile player in BYU history. If you're talking national, a guy that doesn't score a ton, just isn't going to be flashy enough to make the highlights. And, like, Rajon Rondo had one last night, so that's going to trump if Kyle Collinsworth set the triple-double record last night, he's making SportsCenter, more often and to a greater degree. But I think that BYU fans know how special he is. And you guys talked about how he only put up one shot in the first half and then exerted himself more in the second. And he sets the all-time assist record, which is unbelievable.
Which he didn't know about when you asked him.
Yeah, exactly. He did not know about it. He's like, that was tonight? Oh, okay. I was like, he was so nonchalant about it, right? And then I believe he's like 18 or 16 away from the rebound record. I mean, he is unbelievable in that way. Like, some people want Jimmer Fredette, that kind of point guard. Mm-hmm. Trust me, there's only one Jimmer Fredette walking through every 30 years, and the guy's name was Danny Ainge before that. Kyle Collinsworth, a guy like him, has never played at BYU. In fact, there's never been a player like Kyle Collinsworth, maybe in NCAA history. If they had kept assists with Oscar Robertson, maybe that'd be a record he'd be still pursuing. But instead they didn't, and it's Kyle Collinsworth. And it's amazing, amazing to watch. And I'll never forget being there to see the assist record, the triple-double, and BYU coming back from that win. And now they play a Pepperdine game, which you guys said is huge, and it is.
Yeah, all you do is watch records get broken, man. Last year you watched Tyler Haas set the all-time scoring record at BYU. You watched Kyle Collins set the all-time assist record last night. What's next? Nate Austin and fouls, bro?
Yeah, exactly. What if Kyle Collinsworth has like the 16 to set the rebound record? Then it'd be like boom, boom, boom. Yeah, just record. Dude, what he's doing is crazy, but more importantly is what Brian talked about, which is the leadership. That Kyle Collinsworth and Chase Fisher and Nate Austin, they made plays to lift BYU to victory. They didn't hope that Nick Emery and Zach Sellius hit some shots. Those were role players compared to the main actors of those seniors.
Do you think that this triple-double may carry a little bit more weight, considering that he only took one attempt in the first half?
Sure. I mean, we've seen this in the last two Thursdays for Kyle Collinsworth, where in the first half, he is not very involved. At Gonzaga, he only scored 2 points in the first half. Then he scored 18 in the second. Last night, he only took one field goal. Now, if you recall, on Tuesday, in media availability, he said that he needed to get his teammates more involved because he had a very poor shooting performance at Portland. So in the second half, when BYU's down 15, when it's needed and it's not quite going as well as he sees, he then jumps into the mix and leads the way. I think that's pretty notable.
Jarom Jordan joining us from Southern California before he goes and basks in the sun on the beach somewhere and then goes back to work again, carrying the karma to the men's volleyball side. Jarom, you're going to BYU Long Beach State tonight, third-ranked team in the country versus number 2. What do you expect from the Cougars in their first real road test of the season?
Yeah, good question. I hope they can serve the ball well. Of course, at elevation, BYU has serving advantage, 4,500 feet. They're used to how the ball floats a little differently. And believe me, it does. I think in all the sports of BYU, that volleyball is the most affected by the altitude. We always joke, like Texas comes in and wear those Bane masks, and all that kind of thing. In volleyball, the ball floats differently. It really is affected differently when BYU comes to sea level and is at home. So if BYU can serve well, I think they can compete. It's the best match nationally tonight, 2 or 3 as you mentioned. So hopefully BYU can at least split, maybe take 2 this weekend at Long Beach State. That would certainly help them.
Jeremy, you are 3-0 thus far as the official road representative of BYU Sports Nation Karma when it comes to BYU basketball. Brian pointed out yesterday. In fact, I'll let you say it, Brian.
Don't screw this up, man.
Okay.
Don't screw it up, bro. It's all on you.
I'm not turning the ball over. Hey, I'm not missing any shots, and I'm playing great defense. What are you talking about?
Hey, man, you got it. Whatever you did, your routine, however you brushed your teeth, whatever you ate, yesterday, whatever the case is, you got to go through the same routine. You have to have the same mindset. You have to have the same spirit. Because if you don't, potentially there could be a loss, and there's a loss. Don't come back to Provo.
Wow.
Wait, who let Brian in? I got a barbacoa burrito from a food truck on campus.
I got a keys right here. I got my key. Oh, you can't see it, but I got a key. I can get in now.
Every time I leave, I'm afraid I'm going to walk into my office. All of a sudden, Brian Logan has pictures of his family up.
My jersey.
His 2 boys.
Hey, I almost took a picture.
Happened?
I almost took a picture of my wife and then cut a picture off, cut her head off and my head off and put it on you and your wife. I almost did that.
I think I would notice the difference between me and you, probably.
Jarom, good stuff, man. If you want to throw shade towards Brian, just tease him about his pink phone, okay?
That's rose gold.
I heard about that.
Okay.
Listen, I don't throw hands.
Hey,
whatever that dude, that dude said.
yeah, I don't throw hands either. I
don't throw hands in the LMU student section. Wait a minute.
Oh,
Hey,
so good.
yeah, I'm inside right now, so it's rose gold. When I'm outside, then it's pink.
Jarom,
You know what I say to that?
What's
what
that?
are those?
Yeah. Yes. Enjoy yourself, whatever you're doing, on the beach, in Long Beach, in Malibu. I'm sure you'll have a good time. Just be safe and carry the karma.
Sounds good, dude. I just hope I have as good a lunch as Dave McCann yesterday. He hung out with Colin Cowherd, who ran into him.
Oh, my
Wow.
God.
And they were buddies in Vegas. By buddies, I mean they were at competing stations. I was like, Cowherd? Nice.
What? That's incredible. That's my best Colin Cowherd impersonation. Okay. All right, Jarom. We'll talk to you soon, man.
Peace out, homies.
Jarom Jordan on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future.